Lag BaOmer is simcha in the entire Jewish world, especially in Israel and especially in Yerushalayim. And in previous generations, some Gedolim wondered, why is it a Yom Simcha? It is broadly accepted that it is Yom Delula Sherab Shimon Bayachoy. It is the day in which Reb Shimon Olo B'Sara Shemayimah, in which Reb Shimon passed away. So some Gedolim say, why would that be a day of Simcha? Chasam Soifer Chuvas Yeridei Reish Lamed Gimel. Droshes Chasam Soifer Chelik Beis. Chasam Soifer writes, I heard that in Tzfas, they have a party and they dance and sing, and I don't understand. If I would be there, I would not participate in that chagig, in that reception, in that simcha. Shoyla Meisha uses even more harsh language. Anyways, I am convinced in the days of the B'S Yosef and the Ramo, they wouldn't let this happen. With 1,000, 1,000,000 apologies to the Shoel HaMeshiv. This minhag was in the days of the B'S Yosef and the Ramo, and they encouraged it. Shala Kavonas, Drushud Beis. Tragic story. One of the great Mekabolim in town, Rabbi Avram Alevi, had a minhag. He said, Nachem every day of the year. The Churm was with them. And he said, Nachem Lag BaOmer. Reb Shimon came to the Riyah Kodesh in a dream, and he had Ter Oimes. He was hurt by Rabbi Avram Alevi. Why is he saying, Nachem b'yom simchosi, hu avoide sheyireh benachama? And a child of his passed away, and he was makabel tanchumim. So the Riyah Kodesh clearly said, yes, this is a day to rejoice and to be happy. And Reb Chaim Vital is ma'id that the Riyah was part of the simcha. Why is that? Last week we already spoke a little bit about Lag BaOmer, and I brought various different opinions. The common denominator of them all is Lag BaOmer is a special day because special things happened in this day. Whether it's Yom Elula, whether it's like the Shulchan Aruch says in Tov Tzaddik Gimel, the epidemic was over and there were no longer any deaths, or different reasons. But the Mekabolim have a totally different approach. It's not that it's a special day because of things that happened this day. It's the other way around. Because this is such a special day, that is why special things happen in special days. So I want to share a few amazing sources with you. Rabbi Yankov Emden, in his famous Siddur, Beis Yankov, writes, Bekitzur Nimratz. And we need somebody to decipher this and reveal the side. He writes, Lag BaOmer is a day, Kol Kulo Midas Adin. And that is why we're happy. Wow. What does it have to do? There's the Aloch and Dina Sanhedrin. If we're done Dina Nefoshes, and the entire Bezin of Chov Gimel says Chayev, then we send them home. Something must be wrong. None of the Dayanim could see a limit chis. Something is confusing. Poitra Moisri. So the Yankov Emden is Reimes, because Lag BaOmer is Kulei Din, and that is why we're happy. Too much dinim, nefach larachamim. Rabbi Avram Sava, Tzror Hamor, one of the great Mekabolim in his day and age, Pasha Semor, writes, Lag BaOmer midas adin nefach larachamim. And the remez is, B'soi galov ato tishabreim. When the sea is stormy and there are massive waves, every wave breaks. Gal is Lag BaOmer, B'soi galov ato tishabreim. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Meshaber, breaks the midas adin, and din becomes rachamim. Interesting. The Riyah Kodesh, Shara Kavonis, Drushud Beis, gives us some amazing insight. And he writes, as we all know, Havai is midas rachmim, Elokim is midas adin. When din is nefach l'rachamim, the three inner letters of Shem Elokim, Lamed Heyud, move back one slot and they become Chof Daled Tet. Instead of Elokim, it's Achdatam, and that is how din is nefach l'rachamim. The Rei HaKodesh goes on, Eid Hagal Hazeh, V'Yankev Koraloi Gal Eid. This is the sod of Lag BaOmer. The three middle letters that are Mahapach Din L'Rachamim, Chof, Daled, Tet, are Begematria, Lamed Gimel. The entire Shem Achdatam is Begematria Ayin Daled 74. The difference between Elokim and Achdatam is 12. Eid is Gematria Achdatam. Hagal, Begematria, three middle letters. My addition is Hazeh. Zeh is Begematria 12, and that is the difference between Elokim, which is Din, and Achdatam, which transfers Din to Rachamim. Gal Eid is the combination of Achdatam and Gal. Last week's Parsha, when the Ibn Ezra tries to explain Shnei Seirim, Goyre Lechod L'Hashem v'Goyre Lechod L'Azozel, and then Ramban explains Azozel is the Samach Mem, the Sitra Achra, the other side, the side of Tumah. And Davka B'Yom Kippur, we give a soil Azozel. The Ibn Ezra writes, it's a big side. Kishetiyeh ben shloshim v'sholosh tiveneu. When you're going to get to 33, you will understand. Sosan v'lo pirish. Gilei chotzi tefach v'chiso elef tfochim. The Ramban has a very lengthy discussion about this Ibn Ezra, and the Ramban suggests that he means count 33 psukim from the beginning of the Pasha, and it is there that you will find this side. Libi yoimali, ben shloshim v'sholosh is a remes to Lag BaOmer. This soil that we give to Azozel is mahapach midas adin l'rachamim, and that's our entire avodah Yom Kippur. When a Kodesh Baruch Hu shofet kol haaretz, that is a day of din. The soil Azozel is mahapach din l'rachamim. And this is the side, Kishetiyeh ben shloshim v'sholosh tiveneu. That is the side of Lag BaOmer, of the Shem Achdatam, which is Mahapach Din L'Rachamim. Every day, La'achar HaSvira, Chasidim say a perek in Tehillim La'manatzeach Beneginois. And the reason we say this perek is it has 49 words, excluding La'manatzeach, which is just the introduction to the perek. 49 words of this perek coincide with 49 Yemei Svira. But if you will count from the beginning of the perek, day 33 is Shem Elokim, Midas Adin. Midas Adin is Nehefach L'Rachamim. So why is it the three middle letters? Some later commentators on that say, because the Aleph has nowhere to move. If the Aleph moves back, he's going to fall off the cliff. He's at the precipice. Well, I don't think that's very reasonable with the Kabbalistic view. How about the Mem? The Mem could move back, but he's still a Mem, because the Mem Sofit becomes a Mem Pshuto. Libi Yoimeli, it is the middle, the Pnimius, that makes the difference, because in Pnimius, Midas Adin is Rachamim. And I wrote a lot that I spoke about Rebbe Kiva that taught us, whenever tragedy strikes, called Yovad Rachmona L'Ta'avovid, we might not see it, we might not feel it, but we believe it. That is what Rebbe Kiva taught us, called Yovad Rachmona L'Ta'avovid, and in Pnimius, every din is Rachamim. And that is why it is the Oisius of Pnimius that move back, and a Mahapach Din L'Rachamim. And why do they move back and not forward? I think that, once again, is based on the Medrash, the beginning of Chumash Bereshis. B'tchila, Olam HaMachshava Lavro et HaOlam b'midas hadin. Ra'a Kodesh Baruch Hu she'eino olam eskayim. Higdem midas harachmem midas hadin. So rachmem comes before din. So when din is nefesh rachmem, the oisius move back to those that are before them. So this is all divrei remez. Ach datam. Chov dalatet is also the Rosh Tevis. Ki toivim doidecho. Ki toivim doidecho. And that is the posuk in Shir Hashirim. Yeshukeini meneshiko ispihu. Ki toivim doidecho. And that is the ultimate ahavo. The ultimate rachamim. And that is brought forth, brought about, inspired by Elokim, which becomes Achdatam, and the remez of the three Oisius Apnimius is Yishukenim and Eshikas Pioki Toim Dadechem Yain. That's a total different approach to what Lag Boimer is all about. So when we learn this sugya, we very much more appreciate how wonderful, how important it is to daven on this very special day. This is a day which has this gula, transforming midas adin to midas arachamim. Beroiges rachamim tizkoyo. And that is what Lag Boimer is about. So let us all daven and hope. Hundreds of thousands of people make their way to Miran. We need to daven. No Tekora should come out of this. Baruch Hashem and Etzisol. Things are getting better by the day. Numbers are coming down by the day. But we still need a lot of tefillas. And in the schus of the Tana Hu Eloki Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, Kodesh Baruch Hu should be mekabelat tefillas. And now we're here, Hurei Tshuva. The Ma'or Einayim was one of the great Hasidic giants, and he writes, if you can't make it to Reb Shimon's kever, learn Reb Shimon's Torah. And it is as if you're at his kever and you daven. I don't go to Lag Ba'omer, to Reb Shimon Lag Ba'omer. It's so time consuming. But every year, I learn a lot of Zohar on Lag Ba'omer, and that is my way to connect to Reb Shimon and to be Ma'or Rachamei Shamayim B'schus Atana Hu Eloki. Many people sing B'schus Atana Hu Elokai. They don't mean bad, but that is Divrei Kfira. Chas v'sholem. There is no Tana Elokai. Atana Eloki is the right way to pronounce this phrase. B'schus Atana Hu Eloki. Kodesh Baruch Hu should be mekabel our tefillas, our avoda, our Torah, and our simcha. And Reb Shimon should be a meretz yoshela. Oire rachamei shamayim. We should be zerach to refuas and yeshuas and achomois. And time has come. We should be zerach to be as a Moshiach. Binya beis hamikdash b'mheiro v'yomeinu amen.